Hello everyone, this is we are going to see address resolution protocol. As part of theory, first we will understand some of the terminologies. The first one is wired network Ethernet and wireless network Wi-Fi. Maximum all of us will be using either one of this network. The Ethernet network will be connected by using the Ethernet cable across the devices, whereas wireless network will be using the Wi-Fi router, so that we don't need to have any wires or cables connected to the network. In general, Ethernet will be more secure when compared to the Wi-Fi. So this is very basic about the network. And in real time, the communication happens between the systems based on the MAC address, not on the IP address. So in order to communicate with the other systems inside the Ethernet or the local network, we definitely need to know about the MAC address. So in this way, we are going to get the MAC address of the different devices connected to our network. In order to get the different devices MAC address, first of all we need to understand how many devices are connected to our network. So that's what we are going to see in the coming slides. And what is ARP? ARP stands for Address Resolution Protocol. Some of the points that we have discussed is devices in Ethernet uses a MAC address to communicate. Ethernet can be you can consider as a local network. So the source system creates the ARP request and broadcasts it to all the network, or let's say all the devices inside the network. So broadcast in the sense you will be sending to all the devices at the same time. And what is ARP? ARP is the packet, so that this ARP request will be having the basic question asking who has the specific IP address. So now we can look for any specific IP address, for example APC as the IP address, for example, or you can give the range of IP addresses who has this list of IP addresses inside our network. And in case if your system, or let's say in your network, the particular system have the specific IP address that what you are looking for, then that will give the reply to you. In the reply you will find the MAC address. So the communication goes on. So in simple, you will be creating the ARP request. In the ARP request you will be mentioning the IP address or the IP address range, so that you will be broadcasting to the network, and you will be getting the reply from the specific IP address or the specific IP address range of systems. Now what is the algorithm behind this? In general, you will be creating the ARP request and you will be set the IP address for what you want to make the search inside your network, and you will be creating the ether request as well. So here it may be looking different. It's a typo error. It is the ether request. So since we are searching inside the Ethernet and we are going to do the broadcast, we need to create the ether request as well. In order to create the broadcast message, you need to have the broadcast address as ff.ff. and so on. At last, the third part, you will be combine both and you will be send as a packets to the destinations. It can be a single destination if you are looking for a specific single IP address, or it can be the range of IP addresses. But the packets will be sent to the all the IP addresses in case of range. And you will be getting the reply only from the, let's say, the IP addresses which has the reply. So that means that let's say I am sending for ABC, that is the IP address I am looking. In network you have some device which has IP addresses ABC. So that means that will be giving to you a reply. So that will be considered as a answered. Let's say if you are giving the range of IP addresses, it's not possible to get all the IP addresses getting the reply, right? So sometimes you may not get the IP address. So that time that will be considered as a unanswered. So in both the cases you will be getting the responses in two categories, which is nothing but answered and unanswered. The answered one will be having the reply as well as the MAC address of that particular device. So before proceeding, we will understand something about the subnet mask, because we are going to use the subnet mask as well. So what is subnet mask? Before going to the subnet mask, we will understand the IP. So in previous videos we have seen the IP address, and IP address will have the 4 parts. But based on the class of IP address, it will be having internally 2 categories, which is nothing but network and host. So that means that your entire network, the LAN network, will be given with one ID. So that will be having 3 parts, for example in class C. So that will remain same for all the devices connected to your network, and remaining all the devices will be having the different range by using the 8 bits. So that means that you can have the devices ID which has 8 bits of range. So let's see what are the subnet mask that we can see in our system by using the ifconfig, and what are the other ranges that we can see. Just type ifconfig, and you can see, since I am using the LAN, so I will be having the subnet mask here. So it has the value 255.255.255.0. So wherever you see 255, so that will be the part of the network. So that means that that will remain same for all the, that means that the specific part will be remaining same for all the devices connected to your network. So out of 4 parts, we have 3 parts having the 255. That means that the first 3 parts of your IP address will remain same for all the devices connected to in the same network. Let's say if I have some other device connected to the same network, the first 3 parts will be 192.168.0. The fourth part will vary from the device to device. We can ensure that by seeing the net mask here. But what is the range of this, the fourth part actually? So now currently my device has 194, but what is the start and end range? By seeing the fourth part here 0, we can consider this is ranging from 0 to 255. So how do we define that? So that we will be seeing the next slide. Here you can see the subnet mask. For example, now we have the subnet mask as 255.255.255.0. The only the last bit remains open, right? So that means that we can have 256 addresses. But how do you define that one? So let's see here. Let's go to the calculator. You can use the programming mode, and here if I type simply 0, you can see the 8-bit. From the last you can take the 8 bits, so that means that you have 8 bits are available for your devices. By using the 8 bits, we can use 2 power 8, 256 addresses we can make it out. For example, we will take some other example. Let's say we will take the 128. Now if I type 128, now you can see the last 8 bits only 7 bits are available to you, and that too in the specific place. For example, 2 power 0, 2 power 1 and so on. So we have only 7 bits are available. So 2 power 7 is 128. So we can create only 128 addresses for the devices inside the same network. So this way, by seeing the subnet mask, we can identify what is the network part and what is the host part. By seeing the value inside the host part, for example 0, 128 in our case, we can identify how many addresses we can make it out. So that when you request for the IP address inside your ARP request, you can give the range rather than giving a simple IP address. You can give the range of IP addresses, so that you can get all the IP addresses. Whichever the IP address is up and running with some particular device, that device will reply with your MAC address, right? So your MAC address in the sense the particular device MAC address. But in some places we will not be using the entire range. We will be using the shorthand notation or CIDR notation /25 or /24. Based on our subnet mask, we will be using the /24. In our case, we have the subnet mask as 255.255.255.0. So that's why we are going to use the /24. Now we will come to the second part, which is nothing but terminal commands for the same thing. But before going to the terminal command, we will just briefly understand. So we have seen what is the different type of network, wired network and wireless network, and we have seen what is more secure, what is less secure, and we have seen ARP. ARP is nothing but creating the request and will be broadcast to the network, and who has the specific IP address, that IP address will reply with its MAC address. And we have seen the algorithm. So we are going to create the ARP request and the Ether request. ARP will have the IP address which has to be searched, and the Ether request will have the broadcast address. And after that we will combine both, and we will be sending the packets to the destinations, and we will get the response. The response can be answered or unanswered. Then we have seen the subnet mask. So by using the ifconfig, we can see the subnet mask. In most scenario, we will be having the class C IP address. That means that first 3 part will remain same for all the devices connected to the same network, and remaining 1 part will vary for the different devices, and that to vary from the 8 bits of range. And we have seen how to understand or how to interpret the subnet mask, and how can we know that how many devices can be inside the subnet mask or inside the network by seeing the subnet mask. And we have seen we can use the CIDR notation rather than mentioning all the subnet mask, or let's say all the range of the devices. Now the same thing we are going to do by using the terminal command. In terminal command point of view, you can use the ARP scan, the name itself telling the ARP scan, and after that we can use the nmap as well, and we can use the net discover as well. In nmap you will be using the -sn, so that means that S stands for scan and N stands for no ports. So that means that it will not go at the port level, it will just check the IP address, it will send the packet, it will get the reply back if it is existing or if it is up. Net discover, it will be having the range, so that's the reason -r, and you will be giving the range. Here we are not giving all the IP addresses, we are giving the CIDR notation /24. Since we have the /24 will have the 0 to 255 of range devices. Now we will be saying the man ARP scan. So what is ARP scan? So the ARP scanner and its definition, and what are the different options we can see here. Since we are going to see in the local net, or let's say the Ethernet, we will be using the -L. The main point to be noted is this kind of commands are ARP scanning or sniffing commands you need to use with the root access. Otherwise you will be getting the error like you don't have the privileges. Now you can see the scanning has started, and you got the replay for only one IP address, and it has the MAC address of this thing. And your IP address will be shown here, and your MAC address will be shown here. As we discussed earlier, the first three parts will remain same for all the devices. Even you can see here the device which has replay, that also having the same first three parts, and only the last part will vary from device to device. So this is the first way, and second way will be the nmap. Here nmap will be used along with the CIDR notation /24. Here you can see the same kind of output, but here you will something extra information will be there. So what is the device and device domain, or the device name and its MAC address, and other things. What are the other, for example, even my own system will come into the report, and that will be the Dell Inspiron, and it will be up. Okay, fine. And net discover, sometimes it takes time, but we can use the net discover as well. So it will scan for some time, and after that you will be having the tabular format of output, which will have the IP, MAC address, count of messages and length of the messages, and MAC vendor. Here you can see the result. So one IP address has the replay, so 198.68.0.1, and its MAC address, and its router actually it is from DLang vendor, so that's the reason you can see the vendor name and the MAC address and the IP address as well. So this way we have seen the three different commands to see the ARP, or to see the MAC address of the different devices connected to your network. Now we will come to the Python module. In case of ARP scan, you will be using the Python module called Scapy. So you can install that pip install Scapy. We have all the required methods and classes inside the scapy.all. So it's a submodule. Inside it you have all the methods and classes. We are making the alias name as Scapy so that we can directly use the Scapy dot as well, right? Then after, as we discussed earlier, it will be having the ARP request and ether request, and we will be combining both requests by using the // inside the Scapy, and we will be sending to the different devices, and we will be getting the send and receive packets by using the send and receive packets method. And it will have two category of output, one is answered, another one is unanswered. Now PDST is the place where you will set the range of IP addresses or the specific IP addresses that you are going to look into the network. And Ethernet, you will be creating the ether request by mentioning the DST is equal to FF, so on so on. So that means that it is a broadcasting message, and you will combine both, and you will be sending and receiving the packages inside the send request broadcast. After getting the answered, you are interested only in the answered, so you will be getting the output. So I will just comment this one or remove this line, and you will be seeing all the elements from your, let's say, answered output, and you will be getting the IP address and the MAC address for that. So as we discussed earlier, try to execute from the terminal because we need to use the sudo command. Here you can see you got only one reply. It matches with our, let's say, the previous output from the command terminal. It is the router and it has the IP address of this one and MAC address of this one. So what about other things? So we have some other methods as well. For example, you can use the summary of each request. It can be request summary, it can be broadcast summary. For example, now we will see the broadcast summary or request summary. Anyone will be good. Okay, we will see the request summary. And we will see the broadcast as well after creating the broadcast. Now after creating this one, just execute one more time. And here you can see the first summary will be creating from the ARP protocol. So ARP, and it is asking who has the IP ranges of this particular notation /24. That means that 0 to 255 of IP addresses who has. That means that each device will be asked to this message, and this question will be set by the 192.168.194. That means that current system. So this is the summary about your ARP. We are going to broadcast. So the summary of this one is from current MAC address I am going to broadcast to the destination MAC address. If you have the destination MAC addresses FF colon and so on, so that means that this is a broadcast message. So this is the somewhat about the either message or either request. So how to see the different values or the attributes from the particular request? For example, if you want to see the ARP, and how do you know that PDST? One way is to just see the implementation, or let's say the declaration. Here you cannot see because it is directly pointing to the scapy.all. So sometimes you may not be seeing that one. In other words, you can see that by using the ls. In Scapy, if you want to see any summary or let's say any attributes of a specific class or the object, you can use this one. For example, if I want to see the ARP, I can use scapy.ls. Inside I am going to pass the object. It can be any object. In my case, I am going to send the ARP object. Scapy.arp will produce the ARP request object, right? So just I am going to see. Here you can see the ARP object attributes. It will be having the different things. So we have set for PDST. So PDST is the current value 000, but we are looking for a specific IP address or IP address range that we can give it here by manually set here. Even after creating also you can use request.pdst. You can set the values later point. And PSRC, this is the source. So that's the reason even in our output here you can see PSRC. In the answered way we are going to see PSRC. And HRC, I think it should be here. Okay, HWSRC. So that means that hardware source. So what is the MAC address of current device that you can see? The same way in the answered output we are going to see the hardware source. That means that we are going to get the MAC address. So that's the reason in the output we are seeing the MAC address and we are seeing the IP address. So this way by using the ls command also we can understand what are the different attributes or what are the areas we need to give the values from our side. So in simple we have covered so what is ARP and theory part about the ARP and subnet and how do we get the CIDR notation, and after that we have seen the terminal commands nmap, netdiscover, and after that the main ARP scan, and after that we have seen the Scapy module for the Python. In Python we have implemented the same algorithm. We created the ARP request, ether request, and we combine both by using the let's say the slash symbol /, and we have sent the packets by using the SRP send receive packets, and we got the answers, and we have just traversed or iterated the answered one, and we got the IP address and the MAC address from that. So this is all about the ARP address resolution protocol. So thanks for watching and have a great day.